Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back. So today's story is actually going to be a part 2 to a story I've already told. And that story is Punched Him on the School Bus. If you haven't seen that one, I would suggest go watching it. That's a really good one and I really like it. But if you're not going to watch it, basically what happened was that back in 4th grade, I punched this kid on the school bus, basically knocked him out in one shot. And he hasn't bullied me since, until then. So yeah, let's get into the story. So this story takes place 2 years. So now I'm in 6th grade. And I walk into my first class on the first day of 6th grade. And of course I see Gary. And as soon as I see him, I'm like, oh, god damn it. Of course Gary's here. But I just tried to ignore him. And he seemed to ignore me too. He seemed to act like I wasn't even there. But this is only for the first few weeks. So the first few weeks go by. Everything was really normal. And then of course, throughout the 5th week of being in school, I'm just chilling, right? And class ends, and I walk out of my class with my friends, and Gary stops me, and he's like, "Hey, Jacob," and I'm like, "Gary, what do you want?" And he's like, "I want my revenge," and I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "You don't remember what happened 2 years ago?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I remember, but that was 2 years ago." And he's like, "Yeah, I still want my revenge. I'm still mad at you for that." And I'm like, "Gary, can we please just put this behind us?" And he's like, "No, we're not going to. Look, after school, if I see you lacking, we're dead. You're dead." And I'm like, alright, whatever, Gary. He walks away, and I'm like, god damn it, now I got this to deal with. So at this point, I'm on edge, because I'm like, alright, at the end of the day, Gary's probably going to try and find me and try to beat my ass. So for the rest of that day, I kind of just tried to, avoid him and just ignore him. And it worked, every time I would see him in the hallway or literally see him anywhere in school, I would just walk the other way or I would just try to avoid him. And it worked. He never said anything to me. He never did anything. And then comes the end of the day. So I'm in my last period class. The bell rings, we're all let out, and I start walking over to my bus. And at this point, it was pretty cold outside. So, obviously I had a hoodie on, and I have the smart idea, you know what? I'm going to put my hood up. That way Gary can't see me. Now, I know what you're thinking, dude, putting on a hoodie, that's not really going to hide you very, very well. But I was in 6th grade, and I thought, that was a perfect disguise. So I'm walking over to my bus, and of course, right behind me, I hear footsteps, and I'm like, what is that? So I turn around, which was stupid again, and I turn around, and of course, I see Gary. And as soon as I see Gary, right, as soon as I turn around, Gary puts his hands up and pins me to the wall. He pins me to, the side of the building. And I'm like, Gary, what the fuck are you doing? And he's like, I told you don't let me catch you at the end of the day. Now you're going to get your ass beat. I want my revenge. And I'm like, Gary, can we please not do this right now, bro? I'm trying to get home. And he's like, nah, bro, you can go home after I beat your ass. And I'm like, please, Gary, just don't do this. And he's like, nah, man, too late. And I see a bunch of his other friends or goons or whatever they are, basically just some of his friends. They come out of nowhere and they all just surround me. And at this point, I'm like, okay, there's either one or two things that are gonna happen. Either I'm gonna get my ass completely beat and probably get some bones broken, or I'm gonna get out of this alive. Which basically, just means, I'm not going to get any bones broken. I'm not actually going to die from this. I hope not. I hope I didn't. And so Gary's like, so, you got anything to say? And at this point, I'm like, you know what? If I'm about to get my ass beat, I'm going to just make him more mad. And I'm like, you and all your friends are just straight pussies. All of y'all against me, that's not very fair. And he's like, oh, we're the pussies? You're a fucking bitch. And I'm like, you're more of a bitch than me, Gary. You got a bunch of your friends to come around. Why don't you fight me one-on-one? And he's like, nah, I'm gonna beat your ass, and all of us are too. And I'm like, alright, whatever. So at this point, I just accept that I'm about to get my absolute ass handed to me. So at this point, I'm preparing, I got my eyes closed and stuff. I'm just tensing up, ready for this. And as soon as I was probably about to get punched, I hear a monitor, yo, what are you guys doing over there? And and Gary and all his friends just run all different directions. And Gary unpins me from the wall and he runs away. And the monitor comes over and she's like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. And she's like, what were they gonna do? And I'm like, they were probably gonna beat me up. And she's like, oh my god, are you okay though? And I'm like, yeah, I'm completely fine. And she's like, okay, good. Now get to your bus. So at this point, I dash over to my bus and I get up on my bus. I get with my friends, and the bus leaves. And my friends are like, yo, bro, where were you? And I'm like, well, Gary was about to beat my ass. And like, what? And I'm like, yeah, he was about to like beat me up. A bunch of his friends basically surrounded me and pinned me to the wall and were about to beat me up probably. And he's like, oh, but you're all right. And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. And he's like, bro, next time Gary says something to you, bro, come to us, bro, and we'll help you. And I'm like, all right, thanks, guys. And they're like, yeah, no problem, man. And I get home, I go inside. I don't tell my mom any of this because I'm like, you know what? Not gonna say anything. And then school comes the next day, and I walk into class. And Gary's just sitting there, right? And he's literally sitting on the other side, like he sat on the other side of the room anyway. But he didn't even look at me. He didn't even bother to like say anything to me or to, like try to make me mad or anything. Which I think, I think he got the message finally. And basically what that is that like, he tried to bully me on the bus back in 4th grade. I absolutely beat him up. He tried to basically beat me up, a bunch of him and his friends. Sorry, that was my phone going off. I don't know if you heard that. But him and a bunch of his friends tried to beat me up. That didn't work either because the monitor stopped. And I think at this point, Gary was just like, you know what? Enough trying to fight Jacob. I'm just gonna bully him, just like making fun of him. And that's what he did. He made fun of me, and I didn't even do anything because I'm like, you know what? Gary's a fucking pussy. He's a bitch. I would love for him to try again because like my friend said, come to us if he's ever gonna do something, and we'll help. But he never did. And from this day forward, don't know where he is. I don't think he even goes to the same school that I go to. And at that point, I'm just like pretty happy that he's out of my life. I never really liked him anyway. Me and him were never friends. Me and him were basically enemies on day one that we met. But yeah, that's essentially the end of the story. If you guys did enjoy, please be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you all for watching, and have a great day. And follow me on Instagram. So yeah, I'll see y'all later.
Why you leaving me on red? May as well leave me dead. I don't want to get out of bed. I never wanted you for sex. I just wanted what was best.